It's one thing to be spiritually grounded, even in an inside-out kind of way. But we've found a religion that truly reaches for the sky. These folks are willing to go farther than anyone we've ever met in order to find spiritual enlightenment.
Think light years. Welcome to sunny Southern California. We've been traveling from coast to coast in search of our Constitution's promise of religious freedom. And what we've been finding is that freedom of religion leaves a lot of room open for interpretation. We're headed to the worldwide headquarters of the Unarius Academy of Science in El Cajon, California.
The Unarians believe in extraterrestrials, and they think that soon they'll be coming to save the Earth. With that in mind, you know this next story is going to be way out of this world.
Aliens have been at the center of fringe faiths for decades, and some of them are as far out as they come, like the Heaven's Gate cult, who believed that the comet Hale-Bopp was coming to take them home to outer space.
Why do I feel like we're on the way to Jonestown with a camera crew?
If they ask me to drink anything,
Would you like something to drink?
I am out of there.
And there's the Raelians, who launched to international fame by claiming they had successfully cloned a human being in 2002.
The Unarians, on the other hand, are a kinder, gentler bunch, and they're all set for our first alien contact.
I'm Tracy Kennedy.
And I'm Kevin Kennedy, and we're members of the Unarius Educational Foundation.
Looks like an appliance store.
It should really look like a travel agent since we're all going to outer space. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi. You must be Kevin and Tracy.
We are.
Hi,
And Mark.
Good to meet you, Mark.
How are you?
Good to meet you.
Hi, Mark.
How are you?
Good.
We've
How are you?
come to learn a little more about Unarius.
Well, you've come to the right place. This is the Unarius Center, the only Unarius Center in the United States. Let's show you around.
Great.
This place doesn't look very alien at all.
It's a pretty friendly, nice place.
Now, I wholeheartedly believe in what you call the Space Brothers, but I never really knew there was a scientific or philosophical realm to the whole thing. This is kind of neat.
Well, Unarius teaches an interdimensional science of life, that all of us are energy beings. And this is the science that the brothers, the Space Brothers on all these other worlds live by. What we see in front of us right here is called the star map. It is the map of the Interplanetary Confederation.
And we actually, planet Earth is down there. We're waiting to be one of the members.
Outside, huh? So, are we just like a prospective member? Are we, they're waiting to see if we rate, or?
Metaphorically, they're in college and we're still in elementary school. And so they know what would happen if they landed here and we weren't prepared or ready or hadn't been acclimated to the idea that there is life in other worlds. So what they're waiting for is for us to grow emotionally to the point where, first of all, we're not hating and killing each other, and then to the point where we're acceptive of somebody from another world coming here with more intelligence. Because, as pretty obvious, when you go someplace you're not wanted, bad things happen.
So what kind of people are drawn to Unarius? I mean, why do they come here? Who are they?
I mean, we have 85-year-old students, we have 20-year-old students, everything in between. The educational background is completely varied, but the common theme is that they utilize the principles to make themselves better people, and there's proof of it in their lives.
We are one.
And how many Unarians are there around the world?
People who have purchased books and utilized this teaching, we figure there's about 500,000. They're not actively involved all the time because that's not what Unarius teaches. They have to activate it themselves.
Some of my students, when they first came to the class a few years ago, were mental cases. They were alcoholics and drug abusers.
Selling drugs, using them myself, abusing them.
Now they're all well-balanced students.
The Unarians claim not to have a leader in the traditional sense, but even though their founders, Ernest and Ruth Norman, are gone, they are not forgotten.
And the next portrait is one of Ruth Norman. She is one of the co-founders of Unarius. And it was she with her husband, Ernest L. Norman, who founded Unarius in 1954. They met at a psychic convention. Ernest L. Norman was a tremendous visionary and psychic, and he immediately knew that this was the woman that was incarnated at this time on this planet to help him bring this mission forward, to tell people about this better way of life. So they met in 1954. Shortly thereafter, they got married, and they began putting books together, or he began channeling the books, she began the publication of the books, and then he made his transition in 1971. And she took over
by
the mission.
transition, you mean
He
what?
died. We do not believe in death, so we don't like to say anybody died because they really
to the
don't.
next planet, right?
Exactly. They move on to a different plane.
I have to say, Ruth really looks the part of a leader, though. She's got some serious.
Ruth Norman was a dynamic individual, and anybody who met her realized the moment they stepped into that aura and that presence that this was somebody who came with a mission to planet Earth.
Be aware, be receptive of these infinite powers that come to us.
She dressed the way she did because that was as natural to her as you're putting on jeans. She was from another planet. She knew it. She was from a higher world. She said, I dress colorfully because that's where people dress where I come from.
We say, let the power flow.
Well, reincarnation seems to play heavily into your philosophy. Your leaders say that they were reincarnated from people like Jesus and Buddha and other people that we would know, right?
Absolutely. And the co-founders of Unarius were very advanced intellects, and they had their purpose in incarnating the most recent lifetime was to once again bring about a teaching that would help us understand ourselves as spirit beings, as energy beings.
This is the new science, the healing science for the future of mankind.
The Unarians are one of the oldest and most successful alien contactee groups in America. Over their 50-plus years, they have published 80 books and produced over 100 films, as well as a weekly cable access program. But their critics see things differently. They call the practices of channeling, reincarnation, and alien contact a hoax and a pseudoscience.
But we're not about to judge. We'll wait and see what the Space Brothers have to say about all this.
And we just might get the chance to ask them when we take a cruise in their special vehicle up to the secret landing site.